Crypto market is in green. We are trying to come back and hit $1 trillion in the crypto market. Right now, we are observing that short traders are getting hit hard, and it's just the starting point, right? As the CPI came out, crypto assets are starting to move up. Not only the risk on assets are moving up, the safe haven assets are also going up because the dollar is dropping heavily. We all know that the risk on assets are moving up, the market sentiment is shifting, and this narrative, which we talked, still holds true. It's bouncing, and we are waiting for a trend confirmation with a higher high, which shows you there is going to be good gains ahead. Now, when you come back and you see all these positive news, there are also some concerns, right? The way these guys are trying to control the market is really hard. But whether we are bullish on this approach which they are taking, or we are like, okay, freedom, free to use anything, that's all understandable. But here, when you read through that document, it kind of gives you an idea that the way they are trying to do this is because they know that the central bank digital currencies are going to come out, and they really don't want competition. They really don't want you to be free. They want you to use what they give you, the digital fiat. Now, that's where this comes into the picture. The digital fiat, right? The central bank digital currencies, future of fiat. Now, whether we agree with that narrative or not, those who are in power is rolling that out. So, watching for opportunities here in that space with this technology is going to be important. Now, not all the governments are completely ready with the central bank digital currencies. It can take a year or two to roll out from all areas. Within that time frame, maybe next 3 months, 4 months to 6 months, you will have huge opportunities. By the time real estate market collapses, you will see a run up in the stock markets and in crypto. So if you are here, you are going to get a lot of opportunities to make money from this market. We've been through a lot of hard times. Now our time is coming. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10%. We talked about this from some time, that we are going to have a great 2023. Now, as the prices bounce, a lot of people are starting to think, okay, that is still a possibility. We may actually get that. But not a lot of people are thinking about this. We went through this phase. We broke this pattern. So now you're trying to make a higher high after putting this one. So you already got a higher high here. Now you need to put in a higher low, which will be a retest of this pattern, and then you bounce. So on a daily, you are looking for XRP to move higher, fine. But as you zoom out, your target now becomes bigger, right? You are looking at macro possibilities, which evolves. And right now, as you go through and hit this target of 0.5, you're also breaking this long-term trend line, which actually makes a lot of sense because the RSI is already suggesting that it is going to break to the upside. MACD here, as you can see, is showing you I'm crossing back to the upside. So as you follow this, we have got these every now and then. But last couple of years have been hard, right? 1.5 years, especially with all these macro bankruptcies like the Luna crash, like the FTX. We had a lot of different issues. But when you are here in the market, and you're observing that the market can actually do a lot of different things, you see a lot of different assets running up, some of them dropping. Now, what you really have to do is look at what it's doing. In a week, it has run 30% after this drop. So that's a correction. You need to make sure whether that's a buying opportunity or not, right? The market clearly gives you ideas whether you should be entering into an asset or not. See, as you're looking at the market, you can actually see a lot of different assets trying to run higher. Say in this one, you actually see like, say, AGIX Singularity Net actually showing you 18% up for the day and 100% up for the week. Here we actually talked about this possibility that this asset is turning bullish. That was the comment, right? Slowly becoming an opportunity. And right now, if you're looking at that price, it's actually doubled 100% in a week. Then you go look at Fitch. It was an opportunity. It's already doubling, close to that. And we had the calls here. Why was that? That's a breakout, retest, and bounce. That's a typical structure where you get to make money, where you get to trade. But you need to actually know that the market is risky and it can go against you. So you should be in an asset where you're sure about. Here we talked about this, we went up, after which we actually talked about this possibility. We're going to slowly come back down and then bounce. We did that. The market actually did that. So a lot of different assets are showing you this possibility, because when you are here in the market, you do see a lot of these assets running up. And you're like, okay, what's different between these assets and the other assets which are not running up yet, right? So a lot of different assets say you have a lot of different fundamentals, assets and all. Here, VXV is one of the assets where you see some fundamentals. Clearly, there's a lot of adoption and you're looking for that particular asset showing you 86% up for the week, where we have actually told like, okay, we are going to go through this. Now you are about that price, 0.52. That's where you're right now. So you already broke through your short-term outlook. Now we are going for your macro outlook. It's just starting, right? So you had this range which you had to break, which was your previous target. You hit that target, you broke that one. Now you're running higher. So if you had the call here for the breakout, you already had a chance to double. Now the price is running up, you still have opportunity. You will see corrections by the dip opportunities coming in the market. So if you are looking for any kind of opportunities in this market, it does make sense to take time, look at the technicals, look at what that project is about. If that project is sound in your thought process and you look through the adoption and you're like, okay, that's a lot of adoption for such a small project, that's a huge opportunity for you, right? So in the market, you are going to observe that. Then you come back in the XRP, which for fundamentals is showing you this. That's like a massive market, massive targets, and you do see the fundamentals increasing on a regular basis. It's not slowing down. And that's why when you actually observe the MACD moving higher like this, it should be a signal for us. It went up and then it's correcting higher from there. It was a slower correction. Now we are bouncing. The bounce should actually give us a clear picture that we are starting something. Now, why is this really important? Because this particular breakout in the RSI is coming after this phase. So that's not the first breakout. That is a breakout after the retest. So you broke higher from a major level. You did this consolidation after that. You did retest. Now you're trying to break through this one, not the long-term zone. So the price moving towards 0.45 to 0.5 at this point is like, okay, you have a lot of certainties. But yes, this is crypto market. You have a ton of uncertainties, which is actually systemic, right? You can actually see the entire market can be impacted with the macro factors. Fed is going to come out and do a rate hike, which, they don't really have room to do a 75. The market will collapse. If they do another 50, the market is going into panic. Now, understand one thing. They can actually do that, but that can push the market into deflation from where we are right now in the inflationary situation. So right now, if you're observing the market, you are looking for this range. If Bitcoin is able to close about this in a day, 2, or a week, now we are observing that the Bitcoin is opening up room to run. That's towards 25,000 to 30,000. The measured move will be close to 27,000. But as you go in the market and try looking at major macro support resistance zones, you will be able to understand like, okay, fine, I do see that the bullish divergence is materializing right now. We did talk about this bullish divergence from some time. Some of you guys listened. And if you did listen during that time, right now you're sitting there smiling, saying, okay, I understood that this is going to come out into the market at some point. And right now, it is slowly looking like bulls are waking up or the bears are getting exhausted. It does feel that way. Now, if you're optimistic, you are trying to connect through this like that. But I would say, like, okay, fine. Let's actually be conservative after all that we have been through in the crypto market. There will be a time when the market goes FOMO. We will understand that. But right now, what we want to see is a breakout continuation, a retest or a continuation. Here will push more bulls because they all understand that the next range is going to be close to 30. So you are conservative, right? Not optimistic. So in that way, you look for 27. If you're in trades, altcoins are going to actually run massively during this time when Bitcoin is going to go test this range. You're going to see a lot of altcoins doubling, tripling, or even doing 3 to 5x during this phase. So altcoins, yes, that's going to rally, but you're going to do a benchmark here for BTC. If Bitcoin is going to reach 27, 28 and slow down, you need to actually take your profits in those assets which you're trading. If it's long term, now that's nothing. It's just the market noise. You've been through like last 2 years of pain, so this one is nothing. But keep in mind, if you are in a trade positions, you look for opportunities, right? Today I had a big call, which I think, the patrons will be okay to share here because this is a fundamental project. We are getting this, and the reason I'm showing this here is some of these assets are following the pattern of Bitcoin. Not all altcoins with fundamentals are following the structure of altcoins. There is a little bit of deviation in that actually. When you look for macro levels, you do tend to look at this, right? For me, I'm looking at this and saying like, okay, there is something which is evolving here. You can't actually connect this. You can't actually connect this. It's always changing. So that's not your trend line. You need to find a trend line which actually is respecting. The price is respecting that trend line. And for this, you will have to come and test this range. That's where these kind of altcoins show you they have higher correlation with Bitcoin. Now you go into the Ether or the altcoin chart, which kind of looks similar. And you see like, okay, they have a long-term trend line which is being respected by the market. There is a huge difference between Bitcoin and these, right? So you have a set of coins which are going to run higher as Bitcoin moves higher. So that particular set of coin can be a little bit slow when Bitcoin slows down. When Bitcoin bounces, they're going to follow it. But then you have a set of other coins inside the altcoin market which actually is showing you a signal, which you should not miss. Now, those who remember what we talked about last couple of videos do know that we talked about these zones. We did go through this trend line, the pattern, trying to understand that the market is showing you a lot of opportunities. Before this, we have seen such moves to retest the long-term trend line. And where are you right now? You are close to that trend line. So your upside here is actually massive. So if you put that into numbers, you are looking for like 40, 50x in the altcoin market. And we all know that this is just an average. Some of the coins which you are going to look at will show you I'm blasting through 400x, whereas some will do 10x. That's how the market actually works. We all clearly understand that side of it. Fine. But now look at the RSI. If you are focused, what you're trying to look for is what's happening right now. And it kind of gives you a clear picture here that you have some deviations, but standard deviations are always there, right? You are breaking to the upside. You kind of did a bull flag from which you're breaking to the upside right now. That's one. That's short term. Now you want to look for like, okay, I'm here from in the market from some time. I happen to be that one unlucky guy who bought at the top of 2021. Closed that. Now you are really focused on what's happening in the market because you entered here in this range. But right now, the market is showing I'm breaking higher from that trend line and starting to bounce higher. So, if you happen to be in the market during that time and you average down, in a month or two, you are literally watching your portfolio coming back to the original range and starting to move into the profits. Because if your portfolio is down and in 10x you're back there, that's great because the market is going to do 40. And if you only have one asset which is going to do 10x, now again that's an unlucky position to be in. Because if you are looking at this range, this is the altcoin market trying to break through a range which it consolidated for a long time. And you go back looking into the market and you get the clear picture that the market has always done this pattern. The market historically has gone through these kind of corrections where we have seen such events, right? It's similar to that one. Just there are random variations inside that macro movement. Fine. Now, the prior question which everyone usually asks here is like, $50,000 XRP, $10,000 XRP is being thrown out, but we don't believe that. What we want to really know is the real possibility where the price can actually go. That can be based on pattern, that can be based on wave structure, that can be based on logic, not some fantasies, right? Now, here we are looking at the market and we are like, okay, fine. We do see that the market shows us some pattern. We know that it's actually showing us a 15x move after the break to the upside. That's all good and bullish. But what we want to look at right now is, can this bullish sentiment sustain? The RSI is suggesting that it's going to go higher. It's retested. That's successful. But what we want to see first for XRP in particular with this SEC case running is a break of this pattern. If we are able to break 0.43, retest it and bounce, now you can argue that the next first run is going to go all the way up to $6. Now, you can use different tools for this. You can actually even use Fib as a retracement tool to see like, okay, we did this type of correction right now. What's the upside? It actually shows you all the way up to $7, but I would say like $6 for next impulse can be good. The reason for that is the macro. Before we complete the wave 2, which can go up to $20, $22, if we get a macro signal, because XRP used to be slow, understand that. If we are slowly moving to $6 and you get the real estate market collapsing, stock market getting impacted, all else going down, now that's a signal for you to take some profits. If you waited for 2 years and you are waiting for another 6 months and the price is reaching there, you want to make sure you do take profits. Now, it's not only about XRP, right? We have a lot of highly correlated assets in that category. That's fundamental assets. That's payment assets. Now you see all of those are slowly starting to bounce. If it breaks higher, that's a macro signal. We all have the targets. We dropped all that in this recent digest, and that's materializing right now. Most of those we talked about, the breakout possibility, higher highs, all that structure, it's right now materializing. So that, what we discussed in the digest, and then what we're talking about right now is a move like this. And right now you're observing that, yes, that's happening. RSI is near a decision point. When I made this chart last time, right now it decided I'm breaking higher. The price is following the RSI. It's going to retest this range. So if you are a macro guy and looking at this, you're like, okay, all the payment assets are slowly breaking higher, which has some kind of fundamentals behind it. So XRP, XLM, HBAR, Quant, wherever you're looking for, some with adoption, some with a lot of technology utility, it's materializing. So here in the market, make sure you understand there is opportunity. Great. Market actually shows you a lot of opportunities. So if you happen to see these on the right time, you get to take profit of that. If you are there in the market and you want to actually do some trade, maybe 1% of your portfolio, maybe 0.5% of your portfolio, you don't want to take huge risk, and you see these opportunities, you can materialize on that one. So if you are looking for such, you can look at the Patreon. The link is in the description below. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have another 5 more minutes, please do look for this channel. This is my new channel here, which will help you to succeed in life and go through. Now, make sure you're going to make money in crypto. Next 6 months, next year, you are going to make money. What will you do with that? Just retire from there? Now, it depends on personal choice, but if you are having that beast mode inside you to go through that entrepreneurial spirit and make wealth and legacy, this 5-minute videos can actually help you. So that's it for today, guys. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.